2a plus 3b is equal to 17 and through a plus b is equal to 3. Then find a plus b. The best way to do this is by adding the two equations. 2a plus 2a gives me 4a plus 3b plus b gives me 4b. 17 plus 3 gives me 20. Then this becomes easy. You can see 4 is common here. We can divide by 4 on both sides and we get a plus b is equal to 5. So your right answer would be B, 5. Bicycle has a front wheel radius of 15 inches. I've drawn a diagram here. If the bicycle wheel travels 10 revolutions, how far has a point on the outside of the wheel traveled in inches? Since we have the radius, which is equal to 15, one revolution will be equal to circumference of the circle. If you remember, the formula for circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. So the circumference of the circle will be 2 times pi times 15, which is 30 pi, which is 1 revolution. But the wheel has traveled 10 revolutions, so that's 10 times 30 pi, which gives me 300 pi, which is C in our choices. P and Q are positive integers. Then 5 to the power of negative p into 5 to the power of q plus 1 to the power of p is equivalent to which of these choices? Let's solve this part first. Let's look at only the exponents. Q plus 1 to the power of p is actually equal to q plus 1 times p, which will be pq plus p. So we have new powers now, which is 5 to the power of negative p into 5 to the power of pq plus p. Now, according to rule of exponents, these two, since we are multiplying these two values, we can add the two powers. So we have, let's concentrate only on the powers since the same basis. So we have negative p plus pq plus p, and 5 is your base. Plus p and minus p cancel, and we're left with 5 to the power of pq, which is choice B. In a set of 5 positive whole numbers, the mode is 90. That means of the 5 numbers, at least 2 of the numbers have to be 90 and 90. And the average arithmetic mean is 80. 400 is a sum of all your 5 numbers. Which of the following statements is false? The number 90 appears 2, 3, or 4 times in a set. That's true. It has to appear at least 2 times. The number 240 cannot appear in the set. 240 minus 400 will give me 160. And we are left with 4 more numbers which have to total to 160. But 2 numbers are already 90. The number 240 cannot appear in the set. So that's true. Then the number 80 must appear exactly once in the set. The number 80 can appear, but not must appear. So that's false. So the right answer is C. In a triangle, the second side is 3 centimeters longer. Let's call this the first side X. And the second side is 3 centimeters longer, so it's X plus 3. The length of the third side is 5 centimeters less than twice the length of the first side. So basically, twice the length of the first side is 2x minus 5 will be your third side. If the perimeter is 34, find the length of the longest side. Let's do the perimeter, which be x plus 3 plus 2x minus 5 should be equal to 34, which will give me x minus 2 is equal to 34, and 4x is equal to 36, and x will be equal to 9. But we are looking for the longest side. If x is equal to 9, this would be 9. This would be 9 plus 3, 12, and 2x minus 5. Let's solve that. 2 into 9 minus 5 will be 18 minus 5, which is 13. The length of the longest side will be 13, which is D. Melvin, Chris, Enoch, Dave, Carrie, Matt, Dan, and Peter are choosing dorm rooms for college. Each room holds 4 people and they have the following requirements. So let's keep this list of names ready. There are two rooms, room X and room Y, and there can be only 4 in each room. When the rooms are chosen, Melvin, Carrie, and Dan, let's say they're in room X, which of the following rooms must live in the other room, which is Y? Mike and Melvin will not live together, so Mike will definitely be in room Y. If Dave and Dan live together, Peter will live with them. Now, if Dave comes in here, then Peter will also come and live in here. So that would be wrong. That's more than 4 people in the room. So Dave would live here. All right. Enoch cannot live in this room. He has to be with Chris over here in this room, because if you put Chris here, there'd be more than 4 people in the room, and Peter will be in this room. In room Y, we have Mike, Dave, and Chris. Choice A is your right answer. The distance from Springfield to Watertown is 13 miles, and distance from Watertown to Pleasantville is 24 miles, and the distance from Pleasantville to Springfield in miles could not be one of these. Say this is Springfield, Watertown, and this is Pleasantville, then this distance is what? According to the rules of triangles, the sum of any two sides should be greater than the third side. Okay, so basically 13 plus the number x should be greater than 24. So let's plug in the values like 10. Let's try 10. 13 plus 10. Is that greater than 24? No, that means 8. 10 is not your answer. 13 plus 11. Is that greater than 24? There, it's equal to 24, so it could work out. And we have 13 plus 7, which is obviously bigger than 24. Since we are asked could not be, the answer is 10. In a certain game, there are only two ways to score points. One way is worth 3 points and the other is worth 5 points. If Brandon's total score is 61, which of the following could be the number of 3-point scores that Brandon had? The choices are 10, 11, 12, and 13. These are the 3-point scores. 10 into 3 is 30. 11 into 3 is 33. 12 into 3 is 36. And 13 into 3 is 39. And he scored a total of 61. Now, what would I have to add to 30 to make 61? 31. This is not a multiple of 5, so this is not your answer. We need to add 28, which is not a multiple of 5, so this is not possible. We need to add 25 to this to make 61, so this is a possible answer. 22 to make 61, so this is not a multiple of 5, so the answer is C. 12. Which of the following complex numbers is equal to 2 minus 3i minus 4i squared plus 5i for I squared equal to negative 1? We start by multiplying by the minus sign. 2 minus 3i minus 4i squared minus 5i, and we have 2 minus 8i minus 4i squared. Now we're given that I squared is equal to negative 1. So let's just replace I squared with negative 1. Then we get 8, 2 minus 8i minus 4 into negative 1. So we have 2 minus 8i plus 4. And we'll be left with 2 plus 4 is 6 minus 8i, which is your answer, which is C. Square of x is 12 less than the product of x and 5. Which of the following expressions could be used to solve for x? So we are told that the square of x, which is basically x squared, that means it's equal to 12 less than the product of x and 5. The product of x and 5 is 5x, and 12 less than that. So this is a very easy question. A is your correct answer. 2y minus c is equal to 3c, then y is equal to a, b, c, or d. You just have to solve for y. 2y minus c is equal to 3c. Very simple. 2y will be equal to 3c plus c. So 2y will be equal to 4c divided by 2, and we get y is equal to 2, C, which is choice D. The solution set to the equation 3x minus 1, the absolute value of 3x minus 1 is equal to 7 is, which is your solution set. We know when we solve absolutes, we get two answers. When we remove the absolute sign, which would be 3x minus 1 is equal to positive 7, or 3x minus 1 is equal to negative 7. Solve each side and you get two values, which are 3x is equal to 8, x will be equal to 8 over 3, and here we have 3x is equal to, this is 1, negative 6, and x will be equal to negative 2. So the values are negative 2 and 8 over 3, which is D. This graph represents f of x, that the number of solutions to the equation f of x is equal to 1 is, so basically we have to find where y is equal to 1. F of x is equal to 1 on this graph. You would notice that this is 1 on your graph, and we draw a straight line on where y goes across that. We find that there are two solutions. It cuts here and it cuts here. There are two solutions to the equation. The answer is C. Square with an area of 25 is changed into a rectangle with an area of 24. This is your first square of area 25, so it's basically 5 and 5. And the same square has been changed to a rectangle with an area of 24. By increasing the width, we increase the width and reducing the length. If the length was reduced by 2, so basically this has now become 3, all right? 3 times what number would give me 24? We come to know that x is equal to 8. So we want to know how much the width was increased. The width was 5 and now it's become 8. So 8 minus 5 is equal to 3. The width has been increased by 3. That's your correct answer, B. Triangle ABC, if sine B was 12 over 3 and cos B was 5 over 13, what is tan C? Let's recall, sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Cos of an angle is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So we're talking about angle B here. Sine B opposite was 12, the hypotenuse is 13, and cos of B was 5 over 13. So the tan is equal to opposite over adjacent. Simple, that would be, we are looking for tan of the angle C. What is opposite C? We have 5. What is adjacent to C? We have 12. So your right answer is C, 5 over 12. Took 4 exams. Her scores on the first 3 were 89, 85, 90. If her average for all 4 exams was 90, what did she get on the 4th exam? So that's why I've written this average solution, which if to find what did she get on her 4th exam, I called it X. So let's solve this. 89 plus 85 plus 90 gives me 264 plus X is equal to 90 times 4, which gives me X is equal to 90 times 4 is 360 minus 264 and gives me 96. P is greater than 0 and the distance between the points 4, minus 1 and negative 2 and P is 10. Find P. Let's plug in the values of the first point 4, negative 1, negative 2 and P. Distance between 2 points formula and plug the values in. We're told that 10 is equal to square root of x2, which will be negative 2 minus 4 squared plus y2, which is p minus negative 1 squared, which would be equal to negative 6 squared plus p plus 1 squared. Let's square both sides. So give me 100 will be equal to negative 6 squared is 36 plus p plus 1 squared. So minus 36 on both sides, we get 64 is equal to p plus 1 squared. Let's take the square root on both sides. We get 8 is equal to p plus 1 and p will be equal to 7. Your point p is 7. If a minus b is equal to 8 and ab is equal to 10, find a squared plus b squared. Looking at this, we have a minus b here and a squared plus b squared. Let's bring in the formula for a minus b squared, which is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. All we have to do now, let's just rearrange this. A minus b squared is equal to a squared, let's bring b squared here, minus 2ab. Let's plug in values of a minus b and ab. Alright, a minus b is 8 squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus, we know what ab is, which is 10. And now we can find the value of a squared plus b squared easily, which gives me 64 is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 20. So a squared plus b squared should be equal to 84. As x squared minus 3x is equal to 50 and x squared plus 5x is equal to 12. What is the value of x squared plus x? Okay, let's write down these two equations. X squared plus 5x is equal to 12. An easy way to solve this is by adding them first. And we get 2x squared plus 2x is equal to 62. Divide both sides by 2, we get x squared plus x is equal to 31. And you're done. That was so simple. In the preceding drawing, what is 5 times sine theta? We're talking about this angle theta here. So let's put the points here. The point P has coordinates 4 and 3. So the height here is 3 and the width here is 4. Okay, and this is your angle theta. According to Pythagorean theorem, we know about a 3, 4, 5 triangle. If one side is 3 and the other side is 4, the hypotenuse has to be 5. So now we're looking for sine of theta. Sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. The opposite is 3, hypotenuse is 5, and we're looking for 5 times sine theta, which will be 5 times 3 over 5, which gives me 3. Your answer is 3.